Welcome to the Global Speaker Advantage, the #1 podcast where your voice goes beyond borders. Hosted by Oliver Sham, international speaker and coach, this show is for speakers ready to grow influence, land paid gigs, and make a global impact. Tune in every Tuesday and Friday weekly for insights, interviews, and strategies to help you thrive on the world stage. Let's go global.
Smile. And go.
This is your Oliver Sham, and we are live in our studio in downtown Minneapolis, in the United States. And with me in the studio is an amazing guest. You're going to discover this phenomenal guest for yourself. Remember, this is your Global Speakers Advantage podcast, where we help your voice to go global. Wherever you are, welcome once again to the Global Speakers Advantage podcast. So, one of the key things that I do here with my team is to actually coach speakers, and be it aspiring speakers, established speakers, especially those speakers who want to speak globally, like speak internationally and speak in different countries. So that is what we do here. And every conversation we're having here in the studio is about helping your voice to go across borders. And today with us, we have a speaker who has gone across borders, and she is beyond borders. And she is so interesting that I would like to ask you to get your pen and get your notebooks, get your journals, because the conversation we're about to have right now is literally going to skyrocket your mindset and your life and your career. And stay tuned. Welcome, Patience.
Thank you.
Great. So how do you feel?
I feel honored.
Lovely. My dear friend, Patience is the vice principal of Government Bilingual High School, Mendong, Cameroon. That's in Yaoundé. Patience is an owner of a primary school, and she's going to let us know the name of the primary school in Cameroon, Yaoundé, especially for those who are in Cameroon, in Africa, in Yaoundé. And Patience is a powerhouse speaker. You know what I mean? Like a powerhouse speaker. She talks on resilience. She talks on leadership. She talks on team building. And she talks on change and adaptability. And we are so proud of Patience. Just within a very short time, she has been so resilient, and she has worked her way up to the international speaking era. So what's your one word, Patience? And what is that one word that describes you that our audience would love to know, even as we dive in?
The one word that describes me is resilience.
Resilience.
Yeah.
So nice. So today we're looking at the journey from silence to significance. Wow. I love that topic of conversation we have. From silence to significance. So what are some of the things that characterize your lifestyle when you're growing up as a young girl in Africa, like in Cameroon?
Yes, my lifestyle was one of, I was silenced.
Okay.
I wasn't given the opportunity to express my emotions. My emotions were suppressed as a child. Loving too much was regarded as you're too cheap. You're making yourself cheap to men. You are not very serious.
Okay.
And crying too much, you are beaten for crying too much.
Okay. Wow.
For loving too much, you're as insulted as a prostitute. It means you're attracting men to you. As a
Okay.
girl, you're not supposed to be loving too much, because that makes you to be responsible. And responsible men come to you when you're very cautious about yourself.
Wow. And so how did that affect you? I know that at the end of the day you ended up getting married to a responsible man, a great man. And so could you say that actually helped you, and you got married to a very responsible, loving, and caring husband?
It helped me. Africans, their own way of bringing up children, their own way of parenting is very different from what I am seeing here in the West. Yeah. Our own way of parenting children is very different. We are expecting to bring up children that are responsible, respectable, very obedient in society. So it helped me I would say positively and negatively.
Okay.
Positively in the sense that I was so disciplined.
Mm.
I was a very obedient child,
Mm.
very humble.
Mm.
Yes, as my parents wanted me to be.
Okay.
But in the negative side of it, it killed my self-esteem.
Mm.
It made me to doubt who I
Mm.
was. I did not have confidence in myself.
Mm.
I did not know how to speak up
Mm.
for myself.
Mm.
And even for the injustices that I see in society, I couldn't speak up because I was afraid. It gave me fear in my heart. Lack of confidence makes you become afraid even to speak up. Your voice is not heard and you are not seen. I was always hidden.
Mm.
Yes.
I see.
Those are the things that happened to me.
Mm. And that played a lot on your self-confidence.
Yes.
Up to what level?
Even when I was growing up, right up to when I was married, I was still very shy, timid, afraid to even take ventures.
I see.
Yes.
So, Patience, what were the circumstances that led you to like, enough is enough? I must get rid of all of these. Maybe there was a trigger because it's so rare to see women from Africa like you know, at your age, and you want to live your dream. You know, you're like you're beating all the odds. You're young, and compared to in people in America, like we have top speakers at 75 years, at 60 years, and you're not even up to 55 years, but you decided that you're going to live your dream. And what were the circumstances that triggered you to take that decision that, hey, I have to fulfill my purpose on earth? And again, how did you know that speaking was part of your purpose?
Yes. I didn't know that speaking was part of my purpose.
Okay.
Because I used to be very timid, shy,
Mm.
and I did not even imagine that one day I would become a speaker.
Oh, nice.
Yes, that was
Okay.
not part of me.
Okay.
Being a shy girl, a timid girl that grew up into womanhood, I never saw myself because I could not even express myself in front of you
Wow.
as one person, even two people. Then not to talk of a crowd, an audience. That would be like hell to me. It would be me if you put me in front of a crowd to talk. Even though I was a teacher,
Oh, you're a teacher.
I am a teacher.
Yeah.
But when it comes to speaking to students, there is no problem. But an audience that was a grown-up audience, it's like I'll prefer death than speaking in front of a crowd.
Wow.
So
So what happened?
I did not like this situation where I was growing up. There were a lot of injustices that I was seeing in society,
Okay.
but I could not address because of fear. My voice would tremble when I'm speaking. I would panic. So I just kept quiet. But I did not like it at all. I did
Okay.
not like the way I was. And I was a people pleaser.
Oh.
I sought validation from almost everybody in society.
So patient, don't say that I'm acting stupid. What do you mean by somebody listening to us right now might be going through what you went through?
Yes.
And talking about being a people's pleaser, like what are the things that you were doing that makes you to think that you were a people's pleaser, so that somebody could be doing that right now, and maybe you
Yes,
could just have
being
them.
a people pleaser is somebody who does not have confidence in themselves. You want to undertake maybe an activity, or you have an idea that you want to bring up, but because you don't have confidence in yourself, you just wave it away. Say, no, nobody will listen to me. A people pleaser, you always want to ask for people's advice. Whatever you want to do, you always want to say, hey, let me consult this person. Let me consult A or B. And you don't know how to say no. You don't have a no in your mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever you want to say no, you say yes. When you want to say yes, you say no. So your life is just manipulated like that.
Wow.
You always want to wait for people's approval of anything that you want to do. If you maybe have an idea in your head and you want to do something, you want to ask somebody. And if that person says no, you just stop. You will not continue because you want to please the person. So you say yes to somebody who asks you for a favor, not because you want to say yes, but because you want to please that person, not to get angry with you. You just say yes so that that person will be pleased. Meanwhile, deep in you, you are not happy about the situation. That's not what you wanted to say, or that's not what you wanted to do at that particular moment. But because you want to please somebody, you will just answer, just for the sake of peace. I was somebody who loved peace. I did not want to shake waters. You know,
Wow.
I did not want to shake waters. Let still waters lie low. That's how I was.
I see. And that is really something that many people do. I did that. Like, I can find my friend in the shoes. I was crazy. Like, I used to say yes to everybody.
Yes.
And that affected me negatively. And and there could be somebody listening to us right now and he doesn't know how to say no, or she doesn't know how to say. But again, no, it's good to learn to say no to some things, like to many things.
You need to have to learn how
say
to
no.
set boundaries.
Yeah, set boundaries. Say no when you don't feel it. Don't say yes for it, because at the end of the day, you will be the one in pain.
Yeah.
So you don't want to live your life in pain. So you were saying something very interesting. So what happened? The trigger that you like is enough.
So many things happened.
Okay.
There's one that comes recalling in my mind. There was one time I was in a meeting and we're just conversing, and a meeting member was just taking snapshots, and then I just made the comment, say, Mommy, you like shosho. And then she turned and said to me, it's because you are timid. That's my dear, my goodness. I said, wow, this thing that I thought it was internal. So it means the whole world is seeing it. I said, enough is enough. I don't think I would like to live this type of life again. Enough is enough for me. And people just used to take me for granted. Yes. I was never respected. My opinion was never sought after. They just knew that I don't have anything to say, any good contribution to make. So I was sick and tired of being that type of a person that was always looked low on. I said, enough was enough.
Wow. I love that. And there are a lot of people listening to us right now who are even going to listen to us after this, who are going through that. You know, I remember one of my students back in Cameroon met me one day, and I think he was 55 years old. So we crossed paths together. And he spoke to me and cried. Like, you know, when a man cries, you know, it is really a serious business. He was like, he has a lot in him.
Yeah.
Anytime he speaks in public, he does not feel it. And he feels like he keeps on embarrassing himself. You know what I mean? Like, people respect you so much. Maybe you have the money, you're so responsible, you have a great family, people respect you, and anytime you talk, they don't feel you.
Yeah.
And the man, and he was a pastor. He's like, anytime he preaches, he doesn't really feel his communication abilities. And he's so tired of this kind of life, and he really wants to be trained to speak. And that's how he went through our program training. And I think the first graduation at the African Inclusive Institute of Public Speaking, you graduated together with him.
Okay.
Yeah. And Pastor Manasseh is an amazing speaker right today.
Yes.
You remember, right?
Yes. I remember
So there are a lot of people watching us. I mean, they have a lot to share with the world, and they are still struggling. Money is not your problem.
Yeah.
You know, authority is not your problem.
That's
But your
it.
problem is that you don't know how to express yourself.
That's
And these
true.
things, actually, you can learn them. You don't need to be born, you know, a
Yeah,
speaker like
yeah.
Patience did.
Yeah.
And again, there's a study that was carried out, and they noticed that people who are technically 10 on 10, like they are very intelligent. For instance, if you're an accountant, if you know how to do all your QuickBooks, your balance sheet, your income statements, you're so good at all of the technical stuff in the accounting. But if you are 5 on 10 when it comes to communication, expressing yourself, teaching somebody what you've just done, like what you just did, and teaching somebody, how these things happen, explaining the theory, the concept to people is your problem. Then you can never compare yourself to somebody who is 5 on 5 on that technical things in accounting and 10 on 10 on communication skills.
Yeah.
The person always beat you hands down.
That's true.
What that means is that if you can communicate well, it doesn't matter the grade you had in college or in university. You could be the dullest in your class, but you can speak well. People will just assume you are very smart, you're very intelligent, you are very educated. And so it is something that we have to take it serious. So getting back to you, by the way, Patience is happily married. He has an amazing husband, great man, and together they're blessed with beautiful children. Great boys, 4 men, and 1 princess.
3 boys and 1 princess.
3 boys and 1 princess. What a great family of 4, and so wonderful kids, and they're they're doing pretty good. So Patient. So when you made up your mind, like, hey, this was enough. So I know you signed in for some of our trainings, and you did so well, and today you're in the United States of America, and you have 1 or 2 gigs around. And I'm so excited, like that dream is coming alive. So moving forward, you went through your training at the Texas Institute of Public Speaking and the African Inclusive Institute of Public Speaking, and now you are a professional speaker. So our audience will be interested to know, what do you talk about, and what makes you to really say, okay, you can become a speaker?
Yes, I talk about self-love and personal development. Because those are the fundamental issues that you need to know before you can achieve whatever you set your mind on. If you don't love yourself, no matter how you try, loving yourself means loving the way you are, just as you are. You don't need somebody to tell you that you are beautiful or you are whatever. You love yourself, whether you are fat, you are slim, you are whatever your size is, just the way you are. You know that you are worthy, you are valuable, you are respectable, you are worthy of love and respect. That is loving yourself. You speak positively to yourself. You appreciate who you are in front of the mirror, because some people don't like themselves in front of the mirror. I was one of them.
Okay.
I did not used to like my physical build.
Wow.
I will insult my nose. It's too long. Gosh. I will insult my neck. My neck is too long. But loving yourself, you have to accept the way you are. Don't care about what other people say about you. Don't think about what others say about you. You just love yourself. You treat yourself well. You set your boundaries. You are positive in yourself. That is the foundation for all success. If you don't do that to yourself,
I love that,
you will always see yourself as inadequate. Whatever thing you want to do, you will always say that I am inadequate. But when you love yourself, you try to build up yourself. Even the things that you eat, your sleeping time, so many things that you have to do for yourself. And you try to develop yourself by reading books on personal development. Feed your mind with positive things on personal development. When you feed yourself, you feed your mind, you grow positively, and that will help you to become who you want to be in life. Because in life, when you don't know your purpose, you're just toasted like a candle in the wind. You're just like, that's how my life was. I was just living a life without a purpose, without a focus. I was just going wherever you say, oh, Patience, let's go this way. Okay, yes. Okay. Patience, let's go this way. Yes. I will always say yes. Whatever suggestion you give, I will just accept. But when you start working on yourself, just like Jim Rohn said, work more on yourself than you work on your job. When you work more on your job, you earn a living. If you work more on yourself, you will earn a fortune.
Wow.
So working on yourself for your personal growth is very important in your life. It helps you to set goals for yourself. You become very intentional about your living. So you don't mess up with idle gossips where people sit and they're just watching television all day long. You go and be watching films like in Cameroon, we talk about novelas. You spend your time watching films, doing useless things that do not add to your value. So when you love yourself and then you start embarked on a personal development growth to grow yourself, you can achieve whatever you set your mind. There is nothing that
Wow.
is impossible for you to achieve. When you
Thank you so
do
much,
all those
Patience. That's powerful. Great nugget. You know, I love that. Even before we go dive deeper into personal development, I had Humphrey was here in the studio, and we talked so much about personal development, and the perspective you're bringing to is also very great. And I really want us to get detail into that again. But again, before we get to that, I want us to look at loving yourself. You know, patient. Yesterday was it last night? No, most of the time I just play with myself, and at time I go to Facebook. There's this American show where single ladies and single men, they come together to to meet their date. And so this one will come, they'll give balloons, they'll have to pierce the balloons and all of that. So if you don't like somebody, you just bust the balloon. You're like, I'm not for this. So if you like somebody, you keep your balloon. So they can select until they have the final one or the last two. And then who knows, that could be a match. It's a very fascinating game. I love the technology, the innovation in that game. I don't know how people get married through that means, but I don't know. But I love the game. So I was watching last evening, and there was one lady who came in the game. And so there's one handsome boy who came in, and one dark African American, immediately when she saw him, he burst his balloon. She burst her balloon, and she had a chance. So when she burst her balloon, the lady who was coordinating the show was like, "Why did you burst your balloon?" Well, the lady said, "Well, I saw him, and I just felt like I may not be his type."
Okay.
True story. True story. The video is still
Yeah,
on
not
Facebook
like-
right now. I saw him, and I just felt like I may not be his type. And guess what? This gentleman came to her. I'm like, "I love your color. You're a perfect match for me. That's the kind of lady I was looking for." And the lady like, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh." And she was like, "Can I go and get back my balloon?" Because there's a possibility to get back your balloon. If you bust it and the person still loves you, you can get back your balloon to
Okay.
continue in the game. So the lady requested for her balloon. They brought it back. And guess what? That is the lady out of all the other ladies. There were around 6 of them, I guess. That's the lady that guy finally went for. And who knows? Probably they're married already by today. Look at it. That lady, you're talking about how you used to see yourself and all that.
Yeah.
Myself, I used to avoid problems when I was growing up
Yeah.
among my peers because I do not want them to insult me. I have a long nose. True story.
That's it.
So the least problem I had with anybody, they were just like long nose. So
long
until I was contemplating doing a nose surgery. I wanted to go and reduce my nose to take it a little bit down so that people should not insult me. I have a long nose. But again, there are people watching us right now. It may be you have been vertically gifted or horizontally gifted.
Yeah.
And you're like, people tell you that, like I say in Africa, you're too fat.
Yeah.
Some people say you're too tall. Some people say you're too dark. Some like you're too fair. You see? So no matter how you look like, people always say something. Some people say you have a very big head. You have so these are really caused a lot of people to get into trauma, depression,
Yeah.
anxiety,
Yeah.
unnecessary illnesses, which is not necessary because I used to say, here in this show, we uphold a lot of Christian values. I used to say, and we are people of faith. And so we believe that the way God created you
You're
has
perfect.
everything to do with your purpose.
Yeah.
So I was like, when I discovered that secret, I was like, okay, my long nose probably it just resonated with the purpose for which I was created. And I started loving my long nose And I started just loving myself the way I was.
Yes.
And I realized that how you are designed phenotypically, how you're wired, how you are built up, has so much to do with what you're going to do. So, my friend, cheer up. You watching me right now. No matter what people told you before, no matter what your friends are telling you now, it doesn't bother us. It doesn't matter. The way you are, you may be you're horizontally gifted. That's beautiful. It has to do with your purpose. Maybe you're vertically gifted. That's beautiful. Maybe you're too dark and people use that to abuse you. That's beautiful. That is your color. And never you try to change that way you look. Don't put so people call it cream, right?
Yeah.
Don't try to change your skin color to fit, because when you change your skin color, they will abuse you based on that again. And that will be true. And you don't want that. They should be saying things that are true. Let them abuse you, but let it be the way you were built up. That will happen. No. So you only have to work hard on yourself. Because if you work hard, your success will be able to stop and shut their mouth. And they will never do that. And that's exactly what is happening today. I watched your presentation, Patience, during was it Women's Day, International Women's Day?
Yeah.
You did a powerful presentation in Yaoundé. That was in Yaoundé, Cameroon.
Yes.
And it was amazing. I saw women were clapping for you. So how did you feel delivering that presentation in front of hundreds of women?
It was amazing. And they too were really baffled because they used to know me like that timid type, that shy somebody that does not speak very much. So when they see me growing, they are like, what's happening?
Correct.
Yeah, you're becoming a different person. They did not know me like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've been the vice principal for 14 years now.
Wow.
And for the past 10 years, I was just that soft type of person, very quiet, not looking for trouble.
Okay.
Yes. I will not look for your trouble so that you don't insult me.
Okay. I understand. I get your point.
So I was just friendly to everybody.
Okay.
So they're seeing me now. I'm able to hold the microphone and speak in the crowd like that. It's like, wow, this woman is really even though they say it behind my back, but others come and tell me,
okay,
I like the way you are evolving, you are growing.
Great.
So thank God.
And that's personal development.
Yes, that's personal development.
Wow.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about that. So before we talk about personal development, and I'm so proud of you, I really appreciate the way you have soaked yourself into developing and building up yourself holistically. What message do you have to tell a young girl, which is around 15 years, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20? Around 30 years, before 30s, kind of 18 or 15 to 30 years right now, watching this show right now, about believing in herself, especially these young girls watching us right now. What message do you have to give to them? Because you probably don't want them to go through what you went through.
Yes.
So what is that advice that you want to give to them before we dive into personal development, Patience?
Yes. It is just what
Talk to them from the camera,
yes,
please.
It's just what I teach my daughter, because I also discovered those characteristics. She was just growing up like me, very shy, timid. She will always want to be alone, not mixing up with others. And I started discovering that, and I was feeling bad. I said, what will I do for this girl? I don't want her to go through the trauma that I went through. So when I started developing myself, because when you start developing yourself, the people around you will notice it.
Yes.
And you will also affect the people around you.
Correct.
You are going to influence them in the positive.
Correct.
So I started during the holidays, I bring in other children into my house.
Okay.
And I start working with them. I buy books, like the Ben Carson books.
Okay.
I give them novels to read. And in the evening, we'll sit together and you come and tell us your story. Each chapter that you read for that day, you come and you speak, you talk in front of everybody. Because there can be about 6 or 7 boys and girls. You start training them, training them how to speak in front of the public. Yes, because you start building their confidence, and then you start teaching them that they matter. Their life matter. They are beautiful. And then I start teaching them about affirmations to say to themselves. I am important. I matter. I I am significant. I am lovable, because that is what I did not know when I was growing up. I did not know that I was worthy of love.
Wow.
I did not know that I was worthy of respect. So if you disrespected me, it was very normal for me. Yeah, that you could just insult me and I would just stay me quiet. You could just say anything and I would just say, because I did not want to look for your trouble.
Wow.
So that you could continue insulting me.
you.
So I taught my daughter and the others
Okay.
this is, and I am seeing how she's picking up
Nice.
in her self-confidence.
Wow. So, what are some of those affirmations you love to tell those young people watching us right now that you did that really worked? Like looking at yourself in the mirror and repeating and saying that I am incomparable. I used to do like incomparable, unstoppable, outstanding, a global speaker. Da, 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 da. So, what are some of them that you could recommend to the young people watching us, especially, and even the adults watching us right now? That if they
Yes.
start practicing, they will start getting where you are right now. Please.
Affirmations are very powerful. Affirmations. Because sometimes we don't like to look at ourselves in the mirror.
Yeah.
When sometimes you put yourself in front of a mirror, you're afraid of yourself.
Yeah.
So what I did to myself was to stand in front of the mirror. Morning and evening. I'll stand in front of the mirror and I say to myself, Patience, you are beautiful. Patience, you are lovable. Patience, you are smart. Patience, you are a great woman. Patience, you are important. So I'll say all those positive things to myself every day, morning and evening. For more than 1 year, I did that. And then I started looking at my nostrils, and then I started loving my nose because this nose like this, I did not like it. This neck like this, I did not like it. So I started looking at it and then started loving it. And then I started learning how to tell people that I am beautiful. If you even want to tell me something negative, I will just retaliate with the positive part of it. Whatever thing you said negative to me, I respond in the positive. I say, no.
I love that.
That's what I used to do.
I love that.
Yes.
And you see, wow, the devil is very tricky. All of these thoughts that came to your mind about your nose, your neck, it was demonic thoughts. Those are demonic thoughts. Like,
Yes, I used to bend my neck like this. When I walk, I always put my neck down.
yeah, look at how he was actually tormenting you. Like, you're beautifully and wonderfully and fearfully made in the image of God. And at the same time, the devil is like, you're ugly. You can imagine that. That's lies telling from the pit of hell.
They will put you in prison.
Yeah.
Imprisons you with all those negative thoughts about yourself.
Yeah.
You put judgment on yourself.
That's crazy.
You judge yourself for, I don't understand this.
So what's the role of prayer in all of that? Were you at a certain point, were you praying? How
Yes.
did that being a woman of faith or spiritually helped you?
I was praying.
Yeah, okay.
Because my morning routine used to be like, when I get up in the morning, I have my meditation. I use YouTube.
Okay.
There's a lot of meditation in YouTube. I do meditation 10-15 minutes. Then I pray. Every morning I pray.
Okay.
Every evening I pray. I do my meditation, I pray.
Okay.
Each time I do meditation, I
You
pray.
pray. I love that. By the way, happy Sunday to those who are watching us from Africa, from the United States, from Asia, from Europe, from all around the world. I don't know exactly the time where you're having there right now, but I think either you're over Sunday already, or you're in Sunday, or you're to be in Sunday. Pretty good. So, Patience, you're a mom, you're a parent, and I'm so happy that you are that. Now, there are a lot of children around the world that their devil's advocate is their parents.
Yeah.
If you listen to what some parents say to their children,
Yeah.
man, you will cry. And I'm
you.
a victim of that. I'm not putting my dad on the front pew, but my dad he used to tell me terrible things, and those things happen.
Yeah.
You see? And there's one thing that parents don't really get it right. Like, the things you tell your children, be it positive or negative, they will happen, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And what is that message You knowing that this is a truth, this is a reality, you overcame that. What message can you give to our parents? Like today, you're actually speaking to parents, to youth people, the younger people, and adult patients. What message do you have to give to our parents now on the importance of speaking positive words to their children? Because what you declare, what you confess with your mouth, will come to pass in the lives of children. Because right now, as we talk, there are children on the street, there's children in prison right now, in hospital wards right now. And if you want to go deeper to do the research, what finally happened is because of words that their parents declared.
Yeah, there's
Maybe
power,
out of anger.
Power in the tongue.
Exactly. The Bible says in Proverbs 18 verse 21, the power of life and death is in the tongue, and those who love it will enjoy the fruit thereof. So please, I want you to talk to the parents right now.
Yes.
All around the world.
We African parents especially, we think that it is in insulting our children that we make them strong. No, not necessarily. Because those words that you say to your children, it affects them in the negative. Some of you stay at children, you prostitute. You short. You are very dull, very stupid child. I don't know who even delivered you. I remember that's what they used to tell me. They used to tell me, you resemble a child that was born through the anus. Myself. As a child, where do they deliver children? So
Lord.
it is not a good thing to be negative about your children.
Yeah.
Instead, bless your children. When I pray over my children, I say my children will be the first and not the last. They shall be the head and not the tail. They shall be kings and queens in their generation. They are blessed in their going out and in their coming in. So parents, dear parents,
I love that.
Bless your children. If you want your children to succeed in life, bless them. Stop insulting them negatively. It is not making them strong. It is instead killing them. It is killing their self-esteem. And when somebody does not have a good self-esteem, it breaks that person. You will not even grow to who you want to become. So let us instead raise our children, lift them with the positive words. Yes, it is not that we are just praising them too much to spoiling them.
Yeah.
But we need to, when they do something good, praise them for that. When they do something wrong, correct them. Don't insult them. I don't use insultive words on my children.
I love that.
Any child that stays with me can testify. I've never opened my mouth to insult a child, because I know what it means on the self-esteem of that child.
Exactly.
So parents, you are the one that makes your child to become who you want that child to become.
You can say that
what
again.
you use of your mouth. Pray your prayers. Bless your child. Bless your child. Decree what you want your child to become, and that what you decree will become in this life. When you decree that your child is, you insult your child a thief, you become a thief. Insult a prostitute, you will become a prostitute. You become a prostitute. Whatever you say will come to pass in the life of your child. So, what type of children do you want to bring up? Do you want to bring up children that will carry guns and chase you? Or do you want children that will hug you as a loving parent? So think about that.
Cool. I love that, Patience. Thank you so much. In fact, if this is the only thing you have to say in this studio, you've done your job. So great job. So now, yeah. So it's amazing to see that advice, and I want to take this opportunity to thank my mom and my dad too. There are times my dad encouraged me, and my mother has been instrumental in giving me the positive affirmations, the praises, praying for me, and all of that. My dad will come once in a while, like, "You're a good guy, you're a good boy, Oli, you're a good boy." So when I do something nice, my dad will call me Oli. Wrong, he will bring a name from nowhere. So I appreciate them for the great job they did for me. So proud of them. So Patience, what do you have? Like, we have to have a balance, right?
Yeah.
What do we say when children? I understand that at times children are very stubborn, honestly, and I also understand that some of this wayward life the children are living, they don't know why. It's just like a demon, like a spirit in them that is making them to do that way because the parents provoke that spirit. But what advice do you have to say for parents who are listening to us right now, even after, and be like, "But my Patience, you're like, what do you advise now for those children that are very stubborn? How do we how do we handle them? Because if I don't ask this question, they'll be like, I did not do justice.
Yes.
So how do you blend it to handle those children that are stubborn, and what can you do as a remedy to bring them back to the right position?
Yes, it is always good for us to dialogue with our children. We
I
need to
love that.
dialogue because sometimes they have their own things that they want in their life and we don't understand them. But when we dialogue with them, they will tell you the things that they want.
Correct.
So you now advise them, you give them advice on the things that are good for them. Because out of ignorance, they will want to maybe through peer influence, they want to follow what their friends are doing
Exactly.
and do the same thing. But when you dialogue with them, you help them to overcome that because sometimes they do it out of ignorance and out of peer influence. But when they
Absolutely.
get the message now from the parent, they will know that no, the parents really want my good. So when we dialogue with them, we listen to them to hear what is pushing them to do what they want to do. I will tell them that maybe this is not right for you at this time. When the right time will come for you to do that, you do it,
I love that.
and nobody will be against you.
I love
I
that.
think they will listen to you.
Nice. And parents, if you don't tell your children they're beautiful, they're handsome, they're amazing,
Yeah.
the people that will tell them out there, they will believe in them more than you. And before you notice, your daughter is more believing in a boyfriend somewhere
Uh-huh.
or in a girlfriend somewhere, your son, and you're like, whatever you're telling them is your own cup of tea. Like they are not there again with you. And they are not believing in someone else who is not believing them. And that person could be believing them not for positive reasons,
Yeah.
just to exploit that child. And because you neglected the child, not believing in the child, and that is how you messing up with the whole thing.
Yeah.
So brilliant. So that's really really interesting, and I really just love the conversation. Now I want let's that's Africa. That's the context in Africa, in the US. Now let's talk to the American parents. In the US, I understand some people are busy, like really busy, and they have the reason to be busy. By the way,
Yeah.
so most parents in America, they will just go after their jobs, career jobs, and they will really just trust the children in the hands of anybody who can be able to do the job.
Yeah.
And so, what message do you have to give to the parents here in the United States who prioritize their career, their jobs over, and all their shifts over their own children, please?
Yes, I would like to tell them that they should know that these children are our walking stick at all age. So let us find time to give time to them, to listen to them. Let us, in our tight schedule, we also have to include them in that schedule. Look for time, maybe on a Saturday, on a Sunday. Don't chase money for and sacrifice the future of your child. As you're chasing that money, also remember that you have your child that is very important in your life. Because at old age, money will not do that thing for you if your child is not there. So let us include them in our schedule. You can keep off a Saturday, half day Saturday, that I'm spending this Saturday morning or the Saturday afternoon with my children. So that they also feel your presence. Because your presence is very necessary in their life. Let them also feel that you have concern for them. Don't just be an absentee landlord, as I used to tell people. Don't just be an absentee landlord because you are chasing money. Money is not everything in the world. You need that connection, that bonding with your children. You need to bond with your children. So find time for your children too. It's very necessary.
Great job. I love that. I watched a post. I will write a post lately, and the author said something so powerful. He said, "If you lost money, you lost something. If you lost your house, you lost something. But if you lost your character, you lost everything." That was so powerful, and I see how parents are gradually losing their children through what they're teaching them with their character. Parents, for instance, growing up, uh, when I was growing up in a village in Uku there in Cameroon, every 5 o'clock, my mother would get up and fry gâteau, beignet, and she never asked me to. She asked me to assist her once in a while. Ask any of the child in the house to assist her. But guess what? I always observed what she was doing. Unconsciously, I was observing what she was doing. And one day here, Patience, I wanted to go to the shopping mall to buy bread, and I just thought about seeing my mother every day frying gâteau. And you know what happened? I challenged myself. I'm like, I'm going to fry gâteau today. And I had flour in the house. So I had the baking powder, all of the stuff. And you know what? I warmed water like I used to see her do.
Yeah.
And then I took the flour, I shifted the flour, and I took all the different stuff. I put everything in the water, hot water, and then I pour the flour, I mix it, I put fire, I put oil on the fire, and I fried very nice gâteau here in the US. And I ate it for 2 days.
Yeah.
Breakfast, I did not buy any bread.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this is a new lifestyle for me.
Yeah.
Now look at what happened. She had no clue, no idea that's what she taught me. What happened? I was just observing. So parents, everything you are doing, the lifestyle you are telling clients in the house, people around, they are learning.
They're learning. As
They're
you're
learning.
on the telephone, yeah.
Yes.
Are you in the house? No, I'm not in the house. I am in the office. While you are in the house.
Yes.
Nice.
They're learning.
from it.
Yes. And these children will go and tell the lies to you and you're beating them. Like how? How? No, let's be honest. How?
That's true.
And again, so your children are watching at your lifestyle, your footsteps. So there's no better way your child will be better than you if you're not the better version of yourself. So stop deceiving yourself and stop cheating, because you're going to give an account of every child you have to God. Like, what did you do? How did you train the child? And that's why they say the best speaker, the best trainer is actually just what he must live what he practices. And so there is no way you can be teaching people about integrity while you move around and deceive people and tell lies.
Yes.
It doesn't work like that. So you must practice your message. And that's why the best speaker is not even the one who speaks well and all of that. It's the one who lives the message that he is preaching. Yeah. So parents, like we're talking to parents and the children today. And this show has really just, today we're just handling this part of it. And this is, Patient, do you think that this is personal development?
Yes, it is part of it.
Oh, I love that. This is part of personal development.
Yeah.
So what are the different programs you went into? I know you had a program with Dr. Madison Gafferson, another doctor.
Dr. Susan.
Dr. Susan
Echu.
Echu. Excellent. And a couple of programs. Yeah, great job.
Yeah.
So your program with Dr. Patience, the boot camp on leadership boot camp.
Yeah, leadership boot camp.
Yep.
Dr. Susan Echu.
Dr. Susan Issue.
Yeah.
I love that. And then Dr. Madison Gafferson.
Yeah, mentorship.
I love that. Look at. And then you did a program with public speaking.
Yeah, you as the coach.
Okay.
Public speaking.
Beautiful. Yeah. And you see, Patience is investing a lot in leadership with Dr. Susan. Mm-hmm. You know, a mentorship, different books, reading every month with Dr. Madison Gafferson. In public speaking, you know, I feel like calling. I think I need to become a doctor too. I'm kidding, by the way. So this is public speaking. We have been working with Patience for quite some time, and she has evolved. She has emerged. She has become so unstoppable. Within just, I think we started working in 2022. Yeah. This 22, 23, 24, 25, like 4 years. And she's already in the US to do a talk. You know what I mean? Like she's an international speaker as we talk. And see,
that has been my greatest wish.
That has been your greatest wish, Patience.
Coming true.
Now, please talk to the women right now. Talk to your peers. You know, like what? You know, some women are like, well, I'm doing my best. I've delivered children. I'm taking care of my husband.
Yeah.
Okay, for single women, they're like, okay, I had my children, I have my job, I'm fine. And the question is, how long will you do your job? What's of it in the US? You can lose your job at any time.
Yeah.
And what happens to your life when you lost your job? Now, what happens if you move to a different country and all you have is your voice? All you have is yourself. How will you survive in the next 24 hours? Please talk to them.
Yes. it is not an easy job. Being a mother, a housewife, a worker, it is not an easy job. But you just have to organize your time. I learned this with Dr. Susan Echu, time management, how to manage your time. When you learn how to manage your time, you will succeed in so many things. I did not start this when my children were still very young, because it is really time consuming. When most of my children were grown up, I decided to embark on all this. I told you about the mentors that I have. I have Dr. Madison Gafferson, I have Dr. Susan Echu, and I have my coach here for public speaking. So we have programs. Like this Sunday, I was supposed to have a coaching session with Dr. Susan Echu at 11 a.m. But since I came here, I told her that I was in church. I couldn't be part of it. And then on Sundays, also 5 a.m., we have our mentorship session with Dr. Gafferson Madison. So you just have to be committed. Because for you to get up at 5 a.m. in Cameroon, it is not biscuit.
Absolutely.
Every Sunday, 5 a.m., we have that mentorship program. And when you are part of the mentorship program, you have to be committed. The assignments that they give you, you have to be able to do them. But it's not like you spend your whole day doing all of that. Just keeping 10 minutes a day, just 10 minutes. If you dedicate yourself that 10 minutes, I will use it for my affirmation. 10 minutes, I'll use it to read a book. And by the time you realize it, in a year, you may read about 3 self-development books.
Yeah.
So, my dear ladies, my dear mothers, just commit yourself.
Great.
Just be committed. But you also need to put in some money. Yeah.
Yeah.
The money that you use to buy lingerie, buy dresses, it is important to buy them, no doubt. But sometimes you sacrifice all of that. You use it to develop yourself. And by the time you realize it, that money will fetch you much more money
Exactly.
than that one that you bought that dress for that day. And after you've worn it to 2 parties, you cannot wear the dress again. Sacrifice time and money. Be committed. Commitment. When you are committed, when you get yourself into personal development, you understand what I am saying. You no longer have time for idle gossips. You sit in your office and you are just talking about people that you don't even know, or your colleagues are talking about some other things that are not important in your life.
Exactly.
You will not want to be part of it. You will not want to be idle watching novellas TV. People are working their money and you are watching them. It is good for entertainment, but you should not be addicted to it. When you want to relax, you can watch them. But most of your time, be conscious about your personal development.
I love that.
It is very important in your life.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Patience. Wow, you're a great speaker, man. Cross-cultural audiences. So, looking at the trend. By the way, we can do your adverts in the Global Speakers Advantage podcast. So, if you feel like you can reach out to us, you have a product, a service you want to market, you want to advertise, then our team will be ready to do that for you in this particular podcast. And so, that being said, Patience, what's the rule of you have 3 mentors, 3 coaches and mentors, and in different things. What's the rule of a coach or a mentor in helping you to achieve your goal? Why did you decide? Why did you not just want to do it yourself? Like, let me do it myself. Like so people could do. But why did you decide to get into an engagement, into relationship with coaches and mentors? You know.
Yes, these coaches, they help you to grow faster.
Okay.
Yes, because most of the time, your life, when you try to start doing it alone, it will take you a longer period for you to arrive at where you want to get to. But with the experience these coaches have, maybe some of them have passed through this life, and they will tell you, do this, don't do this. They will help you to grow faster than when you grow by yourself. You want to grow by yourself. And they will show you the right path to take. They will tell you the right books to read. They'll show you the right things to do, the right things to say. And that will help you to grow faster than if you're doing it alone.
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to take this opportunity to acknowledge my mentor, Professor Madison Gavison. I'm glad that he is your mentor, and he's an amazing gentleman. I'm so proud of him. And also to appreciate Dr. Echu for the great job she's doing. Echu Susan, for the great job she's doing to empower women, especially in Africa and both in the US.
Cameroon, especially through the boot camp.
Yeah, through her bootcamp program. Great job. So, pretty good. So, looking at the trend at which things are unfolding, I think if women in Africa, Cameroon are left out, if they can follow this trend, because if you don't learn to empty your pocket, somebody says that, I'm not the one saying it. If you don't learn to empty your pocket to fill your mind, so that at length your mind can fill your pocket, the pockets of your relatives and everybody around you, then you are heading to a tickling time bomb. Yeah. And so it's high time, because personal development is absolutely the way to go. You ask yourself, what happened if I lost my job? Will you still survive in the next 24 hours, in the next 1 month, in the next 6 months? How will you survive? So what is that skill that you own, that you have right now, that if you can invest more on it, it can begin to develop and provide you not only active income but passive income and residual income? Because we're looking at, how can you even be making money with your talent while you're sleeping? How can you be making money with your talent, with your skills, while you are not even having a job? Because many people focusing on job, but the time they lost the job, they start putting hands on their head like, hey, what has happened? How am I going to take out my mortgage, my car rent, and all of that? But if you could have developed your talents, your potentials, your skills, you'll be talking about residual income and passive income, not active income again from the job side. And so that is so important, and we need to be so conscious and intentional about this thing. So, Patience, what are your last words to the people watching at us right now in terms of your journey? You're actually in the US for some time, and you're moving from different states, and within these days you'll be having a gig with us here in Minnesota. So what is your message of hope to anybody who is watching right now, and he or she is where you were, and they want to get to where you are right now? Maybe not just to where you are right now, maybe to go a little bit above you or below you, or somewhere where you are right now. I know you're a good mentor, and you definitely want people to supersede you.
Yes, I would like people to become more than what I have become.
Yeah.
And some people have more talents than I have. I did not even know that I could speak.
Yeah.
But when I read a book, The Millionaire Mindset, I read, and it was said that boldness is a skill that can be learned like any other skill. I asked myself, wow, is that possible? How can I thought somebody who is bold is born a bold person? How can you learn how to become bold? So I just want to tell my audience that you can become whatever you want to become. Yes, it's a matter of you deciding in your mind. It all begins with your mindset.
Yeah.
How you shift your mindset to believe in you, that whatever I want to become, I can become. Once you shift your mindset, everything changes in your life.
Wow.
How do you see yourself? Just like Henry Ford says, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right.
You're right. Thank you, Patience.
So what do you think about yourself? Do you see yourself as small? Okay, you'll play small. But if you see yourself as powerful, my dear, nobody can stop you. So change your mindset. Have a shift of mindset. When you shift your mindset to think yourself that you can do whatever God says that you can, because I used to tell myself that I can do whatever God says I can.
Yeah.
Yes, because I am wonderfully and fearfully made. I am who God says I am. I have what God says I have, and I can do what God says I can do. So when you put that in your mind, that you can do whatever God says you can through Christ who strengthens you, nothing can stop you from becoming who you want to become.
Thank you, Patience.
Yes.
So powerful message. What a powerful message. And so as we draw the curtains of this conversation, uh, there's something as a student pilot before we fly aircrafts. There's a lot of work that has to do. In fact, yesterday you were my first. I carried you, and I don't want to. We don't talk about that now. So there's a lot of checks. You testify, right? You
Yeah.
did a lot of checks, check. Like for the next 1 hour, checking, confirming, checking before finally we have to take
Take
over.
off.
Now that is not necessarily what you have to do. You know, pilot is a very scary career, but what you have to do, you don't need to do a lot of checks now. Where you are is the right place. You just have to start there.
Yeah. Just
Start with the little
Just
you have,
start.
with what you have, with who you are right now, where you are right now. Just start there. And I bet you just keep going. And all the rest of the things will follow
Just
you
follow.
on the way. And Patience, what are some 2, 3 books you can recommend for anyone watching at us right now on where they can start in their journey of personal development?
Oh, I cannot remember the authors,
Okay.
but I read Think Big.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one.
Dr.
book
Ben Carson, Think Big.
Yeah,
Okay,
there
Think
are
Big.
two.
Take note of the title.
Dr. Ben Carson, Think Big,
Yep.
and then you have the art of thinking big.
Oh, The Act of Thinking Big.
Big.
Yeah, that's a
So-
great book. Yeah.
So when you read those two books,
Yeah.
and then also the one that we are reading now
Mm-hmm.
is mostly about your mind. Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Go Rich. Napoleon Hill.
Napoleon Hill and the Black Choice.
Okay.
That's the one we are reading now with Dr. Madison.
Okay. Nice.
That one is for your mindset.
Mm,
It's very important.
great job.
And even the millionaire mindset.
The millionaire mindset.
Everything is from your mind.
Mm,
Everything revolves around your mind.
I love that.
Yes.
So Patience have recommended 3 books, ladies and gentlemen, my dear friend. Think Big, The Millionaire Mindset, and Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
Right?
Think and Grow Rich.
So Google those books, grab a copy in the nearest bookshop by your side, whichever part of the world you
And
are.
then you can also go to YouTube.
Mhm.
YouTube is my university. I call it my university of YouTube
Okay.
because
Nice.
I go there and I listen to motivational talks,
Mm.
especially by Lisa Nichols,
Mhm.
by when you just go motivating the masses.
Oh yeah, Lisa Nichols is very good
Yeah.
at that. So
Just
Patience.
think about motivating the masses on YouTube.
Mhm.
You have so many motivational speeches there. That's where I gain my inspiration more.
Take note, please. Oh, somebody listening to us and they're planning an event in the US, in Africa, any part of the world, and they want to get you as a keynote speaker to come and speak to them. How can they reach out to you right now?
Yes, I have my channel on YouTube.
Okay. Wow.
Ebot
job.
Patience Inspires.
About Patience Inspired on YouTube.
Yes, and I have my website,
Great.
ebotpatienteinspires.com.
Aboutpatienteinspired.com.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any email that somebody can write to you?
Yes. I have an email address, ojongb023 at gmail.com.
Excellent. Great job. ojongb023@gmail.com.
Yes.
Great job. So if you can check Patience, are you on any social media like Facebook, LinkedIn?
Yes, I'm also on Facebook.
You're on Facebook. What's the name on Facebook, please?
Ebot Patience Inspires still.
About Patient Inspired. So please, guys, check out for this amazing guest today. You learn from her. She's a mom. She's a housewife. She's a career woman. She owns a school. She's a vice principal, and above all, she is a top speaker. You know, in Cameroon. Cameroon is our country. You know, so it's amazing that she's here with me in the United States, and we are so glad and honored to have you, Patience, in the Global Speakers Advantage podcast. So
Thank you.
thank you for coming, and may God bless you.
It's my pleasure.
Great. So that was it for today at the Global Speakers Advantage podcast. My name is Oliver Shom. I was your host. Technically, I was assisted by an amazing team led by Williams, and this is the podcast crew studio downtown Minneapolis. So we're looking forward to see you again shortly with our top international speaker, global speaker, of course, from Singapore. And Ron Kaufman is one of the best in the world when it comes to customer service and uplifting services. So you don't want to miss out with that particular session coming up 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And see you soon and stay tuned. See you at the top. And bye.
Bye bye.